Hey guys, what's up? It's Morgan and Angie with The Shift, and today we're talking about, are you truly listening? And this was really on our hearts because there's a lot of lack of good communication happening right now with so many scary things, and especially political things that are happening as far as coronavirus and with the riots and everything going down. There's a lot of talking and not a lot of really listening, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And so we just really wanted to talk about that because it's hard. um it's sometimes it's hard to feel like we feel safe enough to truly listen to someone. And
Mhm.
we talked about this a little bit last week. If you haven't seen that video, check it out because it's awesome. But Angie, initial thoughts as far as listening and talking
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah, and this is my bias. I think that the way that society is going and how life is being lived right now is that we have more of a masculine approach. And so let me explain. When I say feminine and masculine energy approach, I am not referring to a male or a female, a woman or a man, okay? I am referring to what we all have inside of us, which is masculine and feminine energy. We all have that. And so when I speak of feminine energy, I'm referring to listening, feminine energy. Think of a receptacle. The metaphor is, a woman is like a receptacle. We receive, and so a listening is a feminine energy trait, just as nurturing is, and creating that safe space, where people feel safe. That's a nurturing type of activity. Creativity is a feminine activity. Okay, so I'm just kind of outlining that, Morgan. And then masculine energy, again, there's no good or bad to here. This is just a labeling process. And so with the masculine energy, that is going to be talking, um, putting out. Remember, women, or not women, but feminine is receiving, masculine is outputting. Okay, so speaking is a masculine activity. Driving, when I say driving, like delegating, or I don't like the word dictating, that has a negative connotation, but controlling things is more of a masculine type of energy. Does this make sense, Morgan?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have, everybody has this masculine, feminine energy within them. And sometimes, oftentimes, we get out of balance as a person and as a society, and right now, I believe how society is being run is it's more of a masculine approach. We're talking and we're expressing our opinions. We want to do that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But when we're out of balance and out of harmony with ourselves, we are going to be defending our need to be right. Okay. And we're going to be talking for the sake of defending our need to be right. We have good reason to do that. It's out of self protection. But what I believe we need more in our society is that feminine approach, that feminine energy of really, truly listening to other people. And I'm not on here on a pulpit saying that I do this perfectly, because I don't. I need to do this better in my own marriage and truly just listen to Steve. And so, any questions or comments?
I think that's beautiful because ultimately we want a balance. We want a balance of
Right.
speaking and we want a balance of listening. And I think right now in social media, especially, there's this like, you got to be loud and you got to be right and you got to put other people down for thinking differently than you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever side you're on, there's a lot of encouragement and shaming other people's thoughts and opinions. And I
Right.
just think that it's wrong. I think we should never shut down conversations from happening because no one ever became more enlightened by cutting themselves off from new information. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's really important that that we focus on listening and that we have these conversations not necessarily from this trying to be right perspective, but trying to understand and trying to really like deeply listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me, that's what I'm trying to do. I had a friend post on Facebook something that I didn't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually messaged her and I just said, hey, listen, I don't agree with what you posted, but I really want to understand like why you think the way that you do. I really just am curious. So I said, here's what I see. Can you just tell me like where you're coming from? Because I would really like to know. And it facilitated this really cool conversation. And it was very like open and nice. And I felt really like safe during the conversation. And even in the end, when we didn't agree, it was like, it was a good experience and it made us both
Right.
think. And those kind of conversations aren't happening enough, I think. And I think it's because not enough people are putting the value on listening. Because if we would listen to each other, I don't think we'd have to talk over each other. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. And that was well stated, Morgan. And a cousin to listening would be self-respect, and that mutual respect that you have for one another when you have that type of conversation. So when you have that mutual respect, to me, that's everything, because you create trust with each other, you know you're a safe space, and that's how we're going to move society forward. I really believe that, and it has to start with our own individual relationships with others, how we talk to people on social media. And we've become very lazy, and I know that sounds judgmental, but hey, I'm calling it as I see it right now. We've become very lazy with our words and with our interactions, and with the slinging of the blame and the shame and whatever, we're trying to shame other people. And I believe that the reason we're doing that is because on a deeper core level, we're ashamed of ourselves. We just haven't looked at that deeply enough. And I didn't even know I was going to say that. Like, Morgan and I really try to go on the fly with these conversations to keep it more real with you.
If you
But
ever see me make a really shocked face, it's because I really didn't expect Angie to say something.
yeah,
I'm just kidding. I love what you said. I love everything that you said, just so you know. And I think what you nailed it perfectly. And our tip for today is like, we need mutual respect, because ultimately people think and feel the way that they do based off of their experiences, their values, and their beliefs, and they're not wrong.
right.
Like, and so you got to be willing to hear them out, and just by being willing to hear them out doesn't mean that you're wrong either,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
so don't be afraid to just listen. I think that's the message for today.
Yep. Very well stated.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please comment down below what your thoughts have been during this whole political outburst, like, because it's been crazy, and we'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Here. Bye.